सर्वदे साक्षीभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणारहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धु च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव।
Do a very simple chant, Om Namo Narayan. Everyone can sing along. Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayan, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayan, Om do one more chant, one of Yoganandaji's. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. I am the bubble, make me the sea.
Let's meditate now for a short while together. Inhale, and with a double breath, tense your whole body until it vibrates. Now exhale, double breath out and relax. And twice more. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for coming this evening. So, thank you, Dhyana ji, for coming here, blessing Ludhiana with your presence. A lot of us know Dhyana ji. For those who don't know her, she's been a disciple of Yogananda ji for 45 years and a Kriya yogi, practicing Kriya yoga for most of her adult life. And she has, started communities work in Australia, Africa, Italy, America. But in India, she has been there for the last 18 years. And Ananda India is celebrating 20 years in November. Hope a lot of you will be there. And Dhyana ji has been a part of that journey, and she heads Ananda India. So we are really, really blessed, Dhyana ji. And Ludhiana has happened. The seed was sown by Dhyana ji in November to do a program, and then the classes started. So it all started, with the grace and blessings of Dhyana ji. So welcome so much, and we're really, really lucky to have you here with us.
I have to say that I'm needing this. Okay. I have to say that it's a joyful time for me to come here and be with all of you. As Harpriya said, I think this was in the ether for this center to come into being. It was sitting for some time, I heard, for some years. And when we had a meeting recently in December, November, the idea just came. And I think Master wanted you all to have a center here. I think he gave the idea. It wasn't me. I think he gave the idea. And Harpriya and Dharmender and others picked up on the idea. And look what's happened in such a short time. And these are Master centers. And he sets them up. We're his children. He draws us to the teachings, to the path. We've been on the path in other lifetimes. It's not new. And we've come again. Our guru wants us here. And so he provides through instruments, through channels, places where we can come and have satsang, we can chant, we can meditate together, we can learn Kriya yoga, we can serve, we can have satsang. It's what a blessing. And I started some years back, as you heard, and I wanted to start today. I have quite a lot to share with you, but I want to start with a couple of readings from this new book, which I hope you all have. It's only been out a week, isn't it? So good. I've had about 10 copies go through my hands. I had them here. This one's for you. I want you to have this one. So anyway, it's a fantastic book that Nayaswami Devarshi wrote for anyone. It doesn't give the technique. You can't find the technique in here, but he says a lot, the essence of what Kriya Yoga is about. And you have to realize that these masters came really to bring Kriya Yoga. Of course, they came for the world and to bring blessings and to bring light, but they really came for this, for Kriya Yoga, for us to learn this. And Babaji brought Lahiri Mahashaya from his office. You know the story, if you read Autobiography of a Yogi, he brought him to a secluded area in the Himalayas, and Lahiri Mahashaya didn't know what was going on, so to speak. And he said, "Do you remember this cave?" This teaching came from Babaji. Krishna in another life, Babaji in this life. Krishna taught it to his disciples. He practiced it. Jesus Christ taught it to his disciples. He practiced it. The different great masters, Patanjali. So Babaji felt it was time to give Kriya Yoga again. These things are destined. They're given by God. It's not a desire. It's destined to happen. And so Babaji he asked him, "Do you remember this cave?" And Lahiri Mahashaya said, "I don't remember." And what about this asan? If you can turn your phones off, it would be super helpful. And he said he didn't remember that. And he said, what about this cup? And Lahiri Mahashaya hadn't remembered. And then his guru, who was Babaji, touched him. And he said, oh, now I remember. And for all of you who have Kriya, don't have Kriya, you're going to receive that touch. And then you start remembering that this is who I am. This is what my life is about. I'm a devotee. I love God. I want to serve. I want to chant. I want to be in a satsang. I want to serve. I want to help my guru. I want to know my guru. I want to know God. So he gave it to Lahiri Mahashaya and he woke up. And then Babaji materialized a golden palace after he had him purify himself. And he gave him initiation, Diksha, into Kriya Yoga. And afterwards, you've got to know, I mean, he had materialized food for him as well. Afterwards, he said, look in this vessel, just put your hand there, anything you desire. You know, he brought up whatever it was. And then he said, now you must be thirsty. Here's the water. Here, look in there. He says, well, is there water? And there was water. And this is the love of the guru. You've got to know the guru's love is drawing you to God. And so then, of course, Lahiri Mahashaya wants to stay with Babaji. He said, no, there's so many people out there. They need the teachings of Kriya Yoga. Go out. Lahiri Mahashaya was married. He had 2 children. He was an accountant. He worked 25 more years as an avatar at that, after being initiated by Babaji. And people say, I don't want to work. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do any seva. He had 25 more years. He served. And he was in a high state the whole time. Now, this is what Kriya Yoga is about. It's not complaining and I don't want to do this and I meditate and then that's my cave and then I go to work and I'm angry. And Lahiri Mahashaya came to bring, this is how you're a yogi. This is your life as a yogi. And he went back and he showed people. He had the Gita Satsang and he would have it, I don't know if every day or often he had people that devotees come and they would study. And this is what this place is about. I love, you know, the prasad, but honestly, we've got to get back to why we're really here. We're really here to do Kriya Yoga. This center is a Kriya Yoga center. And we want to come here and meditate long and meditate deep and bring your friends to meditate. Get your children meditating. He meditates. So anyway, then it came down from Lahiri Mahashaya to Swami Shri Yukteswarji, all great yogis. And Swami Shri Yukteswarji, he gave the mantle to Paramahansa Yoganandaji, master. He sent master to America. You know, master had a vision. He saw all the places he was going to found. He saw the students. And then he said, he asked Babaji to bless him, that he wouldn't get tied up in the materialistic ways. And one day, after master said, my brain was splitting. I prayed so hard. How many people pray like that? Not many. And he said, suddenly there was a knock at the door. And there was a yogi who was there. And he said, he must be the great Babaji. And he said, yes, I am Babaji. And the divine has said, you must go to America and take these teachings. That was 1920. Master left everything. And he went to teach Americans. I mean, so materialistic. But he said his book was dedicated to an American saint, Autobiography of a Yogi, Luther Burbank. Swamiji saw that in the book and he closed the book. He said, there's no American saints, but there are. And Master found the saints and he made them saints, you know. And then he met Swami Kriyanandaji. Swamiji dedicated his whole life, 60 plus years, to serving as guru, to bringing the teachings of Kriya. He brought us over to India. And he said, we're here to get our master's name and his teachings known. We traveled, I traveled all over India with the different ones. And Shankara, you know, and various ones, different ones, Jayaji, we went all over and we asked people, do you know Kriya Yoga? have you read Autobiography of a Yogi? And people said, I read it, but I didn't know what to do afterwards. Nobody taught me. Master came through Swamiji, through the different ones that you see, through these centers. We started with one small center. Now there's 14. And then there's meditation groups because people want to meditate. It's a time to meditate. When I was in, obviously I'm not getting to this reading right now, but when I graduated from college, everybody said, if you just get the degree, your life is set. So I went to a good school. I went to UC Berkeley. That was tough, I'm telling you. And I got out of there. I was so happy to get out of that college and university. And I had the good job. I had the money. I had the house. I had the car. I had the friends. I had everything. And I had nothing. There was such an emptiness. I was 21 years old and I thought, there's just got to be something missing here. Just got to be. I'm sure you felt that in your life. Something big is missing. So I remember one whole night, I just prayed all night. I wasn't spiritual or religious, really. I mean, I was, but I wasn't, And then I prayed all night long that somebody help me. God, come to me. And the very next day, unbelievable story, I was in a little shop buying some things I was in social services. I was buying some things for the kids. And I saw a little pamphlet. This was in 1977, 76, 77. Some people tell me, I wasn't born then. Don't say that. But I found that little pamphlet. And I was from the rough areas of Los Angeles, honestly. And there I was looking at meditation in the late 70s. I just thought, I don't know what this is about. And nobody I knew what it was about. India and gurus and karma and reincarnation. It was like being on the moon. But something just said, just buy it. Don't think about it, buy it. And I bought that. I was at my lunchtime. I was sitting out in a park reading this pamphlet on meditation. It was TM, Transcendental Meditation. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi had come to America. And I just couldn't believe, I was just thrilled reading this. And I looked down from where I was, maybe between here and the cars there, and there was somebody else sitting on a bench, meditating. The guy was meditating. I ran over there. It was like the lightning bolt struck, and I didn't know Master. I didn't know any. I haven't even read Autobiography of a Yogi. I went over there. I said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I remember he says, "Well, I was meditating." And I'm just reading. I just was thrilled. That was the first answered prayer that I knew of in my life. Within 1 week, I was going with my fruits and flowers. And I learned transcendental meditation, how to meditate. And what book did they give me? Autobiography of a Yogi. Within a short time, I met Swami Kriyananda. I mean, how did I get there? I was just being guided. Master was guiding. Go up to Ananda village, go meet these yogis, go get trained. And I went there and that was 1978. And I've been with Ananda ever since. I mean, can you believe that? It's a long time to stick with anything. But I learned from Swami Kriyanandaji. I lived with him, at Ananda village. There was no nonsense. This is how you do Kriya. And I learned Kriya before I got there. And it just didn't take. When I got to Swamiji, he said, you need to energize. And I know some of you are students, some of you already have Kriya. You need to do this properly. You need to do Hong Sa right. You need to do the Om technique. You need to get up early in the morning. You need to read the books. You need to chant. You need to get a harmonium. It was like, you need to do it. And he would sit with you, check your Kriya. Some people don't want to get checked. Well, Good luck, I would say. I mean, I'd be a blessing to get checked. You check your Kriya, answer your questions, give a talk, do the review, give Kriya retreats, lead Kriya Bond, guided meditations. That's what we do at Ananda. We teach you how to do Kriya Yoga properly. And that's what these centers are about. So once I got to Ananda, I just took off with Kriya. And what are the effects of it? I think it's obvious. Look around. Look at the Kriya yogis that you've met here. There's joy, there's high energy, there's magnetism, there's willingness, there's selflessness. Kriya lifts the energy up. Your master described the spine. He said most people's spines, and I hope you all are sitting up straight. In my classes, people do. You don't want to be lying back. And so Master said most people's spines are as if they were spiritually, where the energy is trying to flow, the Sushumna, Irda, Pingala. He said it's spiritually paralyzed. There's so many blockages, karma, attachments, desires, even posture. Sitting up straight, getting the energy flowing. What does energization do? It brings in prana. Fresh prana comes in. Your eyes start to look more bright. Your face is brighter. Your energy is moving. Your voice changes. You just start feeling like a yogi. You start feeling like you're in control of energy. And so what we do with energization, we get the energy flowing. And then Mahamudra. I don't know how many are Kriya Bonds, how many are not, but you can learn Mahamudra in a yoga book in a certain way. Mahamudra takes the spine and just gets it open. Just imagine your energy is trying to flow, it can't go anywhere. Mahamudra gets it open, elongates the spine like a hose, a pipe you call it here. If you're trying to water your garden and your hose is all twisted up, nothing's going to happen. Most people's spines, energy can't flow. They're sitting there and meditating. They're not doing anything but sleeping. Hong, snore. They're snoring. You're falling over. But if you get the spine straight through energization, then Mahamudra, introduce a strong current in the spine through opening the spine and straightening it out. That's the first part of Kriya. The second part of Kriya is you introduce a strong current in the spine. It's not visualization. It's not, I hope something works. It's not talking about it. It's not praying. It's like experiential within yourself. Master said, the senses, they drive you nuts. They're always, I want to eat, I want to see, I want to do. They're taking your energy out. It's just bleeding out all day, every day. Till you go to sleep, you don't know what's going on. Then it goes out. Yogananda Ji said, cut the sense telephone wires. Cut them. Keep your energy inside. How do you do that? You magnetize the spine and the chakras through Kriya Yoga, is at least a powerful way. I'm not saying it's the only way, but he said, redirect, pull the energy in through magnetization of the spine. So if you draw a current up and down in the spine, you're going to magnetize your spine. If I had a magnet here on the floor and I put out some paper clips on the sides, and the paper clips are not going to stay there and they're not going to go to the wall. They're going to be attracted to the bar magnet, isn't it? So energy is attracted. It's attracted to the senses. It's attracted to this. It's attracted. I want to have. It's endless until you start to get control of the prana, energy in the spine. Energy goes back in and says, hey, I want to go back to the source. You've cut the sense telephones. You've drawn the energy in. Then you pull that energy up and down in the spine, and you begin to break the karma. Break the seeds of attachments, break the seeds of desire. They get smaller and smaller. Imagine at the edge of let's see, the ocean, a big boulder. And as the water, the tide comes in and goes over that big boulder and back, 1 day, 2 days, weeks, months, years, what's going to happen? It's going to break down. It erodes. It becomes smaller. You draw energy up and down in the spine, the karma's going to decrease. Those big karmic blocks that people have, they get smaller. And what happens after you keep bringing that current, bringing the water over that big karmic rock, you could say, it breaks down into smaller rocks. Isn't it so? You keep moving the water over those rocks, they become sand. This is what's happening in your spine. You bring energy up and down repeatedly, the karma starts breaking. You have less desires. You have less attachments. And the current can flow more freely. The last part of Kriya is, well, I want to explain one more before I get to the last part, is that imagine a river or a stream or a brook. And if along the sides there are, I don't know, twigs or branches or along the banks, debris, if there's a low flow of water, all that stuff is going to stay where it is. Kriya, you increase the flow. You see? You got to bring in more prana through energization, mahamudra, right living, right thinking. Or you're pushing on both sides of a door. I want it, I don't. I want it, I don't. And so if you get a strong, if it's monsoon time, you get a strong flow, everything gets flushed. You understand? We're bringing in more prana to flush out everything that's trying to move, but it can't move. It's stuck. And Kriya, you consciously, with focus, with the Guru's blessings, with bhakti devotion, with regular daily practice. I know people have been practicing 50 plus years. That's a long time, daily practice of Kriya. You get more and more free. And the last part of Kriya, it's not even enough to get the energy moving. You have to have a home base. Where is it going to be based? Not in your toes, not in your knees. You're going to bring that energy to the seat of enlightenment, of soul awareness, of freedom, the Kutastha Chaitanya, the point between the eyebrows. So the last part of Kriya, which you will learn all this, I'm giving you a taste. You bring that energy up and you plant it here. You hold it at the spiritual eye and in the brain, and you just get rid of everything that's been holding you back. You partially get rid of it with the current, then you bring that energy up and you hold it. You start to go into the light, into the spiritual eye. The golden ring becomes a tunnel of golden light. It's beautiful. A blue field in the middle of the golden blue light. Beautiful, an ocean of blue. In the middle of the blue, a silvery white 5-pointed star. You go through that. Yoganandaji had one of his first disciple, Dr. Lewis. He was a dentist. He came to Yoganandaji, and Master gave how. Some teachers taught what, maybe even why, but he taught how to arrive. So Dr. Lewis came, and he came maybe with the Bible, but he for sure asked him, he said, it says in the Bible, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. Beautiful, isn't it? Nobody understands it. I was raised in the Baptist church. It's like, you have 2 eyes, you have 3 eyes, there's no good explanation. So doctor says, do you know what this means? And Master said, I think so. And he said, have you seen the light he's talking about? You can imagine Master's brown, long hair, probably all orange robes. And Dr. Lewis was a conservative Bostonian, and But Master drew him to him. Let's face it, it wasn't by chance he came. So he says, have you seen this light that he's talking about? And Master said, I think so. And he said, can you show me? And Master said, I think so. Guru and disciple. He was so happy. Dr. Lewis even came and asked him. And then he looked at Dr. Lewis before he showed him anything, and he said this. He asked him a question. This is the question for the disciple. You know? The Guru asked, will you love me always as I shall love you? Wow. Dr. Lewis didn't know what to think. He said, who is this Indian man? And then Doctor said, I read his book, his daughter's book, he said, I said yes. Because you see, I could feel the love. Wow. Master is pouring into Dr. Lewis's love. So Doctor says yes, and Master goes like this, yes, good. Now I can take charge of your life. And he had Dr. Lewis sit in front of him, cross-legged, like these gentlemen are doing here. And Master sat in front of him. He didn't pull out the Gita and the Bible, and he didn't give a long discourse, so he was blue in the face. He brings his forehead, the doctor's forehead, and he shows him the light of God. Incredible. The experience. Then he showed him the light of the 1,000-petaled lotus. Very first meeting, but it wasn't a first meeting. You got to remember that. He was his disciple who knows how many lifetimes. Dr. Lewis left there, he stumbled out of the room. He was full of bliss. And he goes home, it's Christmas Eve, and his wife, Mildred, Master called her sometimes because she was tough. She had a frying pan or a rolling pin or something. She was waiting because he was late to decorate the Christmas tree. So she walks in the house and she's just ready to hit him over the head. And his face is just full of light. And she couldn't do anything. She said, okay, come on in. Just tell me what happened. She became a disciple too. Master gave the experience of God through Kriya Yoga. He taught, they were the first Kriya bonds, at least Dr. Lewis was. He had other ones coming forward. Rajarsi Janakananda was a multimillionaire. He came to Master. This isn't for somebody in a cave their whole life, never doing anything. It's for you and me. People sometimes say, Dhyanaji, you're happy because you just sit and chant Om all day. I said, really? Really? I mean, how do you have any idea? I mean, I'm traveling all the time, but I'm so happy within. So Master had Rajarsi Janakananda. He would go to his job late, and he'd go in, rather, he'd sit for hours in his office with the sign, in conference. And his workers, and who is he in conference with, And he would finally come out, and they said, how can you spend so much time in there meditating when we have so much work? He said, if I didn't do this, I couldn't. So this helps you in your daily life. You have more clarity. You have more energy. You have more ideas. You have more inspiration. You have more Shakti to get things done. You have more energy flow. You have more magnetism. If you have that magnetism, the right people come. The right situations come. The finances come. Your health is better. Kriya yogis are healthier. I saw, first of all, my sisters, I see them, they say, God, you look so young. I said, it's the yoga. And they're way younger than me. I said, yoga. But, you see people, I would take the pictures. You might try this in your classes. I take the pictures of Raja Yoga at the beginning of the course and at the end and show a person, look at your face now. Look at your energy now. Look how you feel now. Master said, he would quote the Gita, that Krishna said, out of 1,000, one seeks me. And out of the 1,000 that seek me, perhaps one knows me. The Master would quote that, and then he added, but our percentages are better. Because what we're doing. We're practicing every day. We're serving every day. We're energizing. We're doing Mahamudra. We're chanting. It's a spiritual life. And this one man came to Master. There's so many. I wish I had all night, but I just don't. And his name was Herb Jeffries. And he was like a Bollywood star. He was a Hollywood star. I met him, very tall, debonair, his hair, whoa. You can imagine a Bollywood star. So he came to Master and he said, I've been to many places and I just, everybody tells me what I can't do. All these churches, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. I said, I want to know, what can I do? Master said, come on in. So he came in and he said, well, you like smoking a lot, don't you? Yeah. You drink a lot, don't you? Oh yeah, I like to drink. And you like socializing a lot. Oh yeah, I like to socialize. Master said, after each thing, he said, you may continue. You may continue, and you may continue. And the man was so happy. He was just walking out the door. He said, I can do everything. I can be on this path. And Master said, wait. If you do what I tell you to do, you won't want to do those things. And all I can say is I met him near I don't know if he's still alive or not, but he was.
When he was 101.
Acha, he was older than, he was very soft, is all I can say. I don't know about his life, but very sweet. He came to meet Swamiji at a class, very soft. And one other disciple, these were businessmen. I'm just trying to tell you. These weren't cave yogis. These were people in the world. So this man came. He had his own jet. He was, tell me the name? Bob Raymer. And they've heard these stories so many times. This is how we used to do with Swamiji. So Bob Raymer, he flies in on his private jet and he comes to Master in Los Angeles and he goes to the door and Master opens and he says, well, how can I help you? I want to learn this Kriya Yoga. Master said, okay, come on in. And so Master had his family portraits on the table, coffee table, and he had some mithai, some sweets. So he just kept turning the pictures. This is my brother, this is my sister. And Bob Raymer, he was getting anxious. He said, but what about the Kriya Yoga? The Master was take the sweets and he just kept feeding him and showing the picture. You can just imagine, he knew who he was. And he just was opening him up. So finally he says, listen, I came here to learn the Kriya Yoga. And Master says, okay, tomorrow 10 o'clock. Now, we don't give Kriya that way, He said, tomorrow 10 o'clock. So he comes at 10 o'clock, he takes the Kriya from Master. Master said, now, when you go back, because he said every night he would have 2 martinis. Is that what he had? Yeah. And Master said, don't drink. You do the Kriya Yoga. So he went to the hotel, stayed in a hotel. I heard it from him. He came to Ananda village. All these disciples came. And they told their stories. We heard it firsthand. I met him. He said, I was there, I was doing the Kriya. He said, I only did 4 or 6. And suddenly, whoosh, this energy rose up my spine, up to the top of my head. And he said, I don't know what happened to me. He said, I started crying. I started laughing. And he said, I fell off the bed, just crying and laughing. And I said, I've been waiting my whole life for this. How did that happen? Master. He said, do this, and I will show you God. And he did that with Kriya Yoga. You do this. This is your 25%. He said 25% is your efforts. 25% is Guru's grace. 50% is God's grace. Now, what are we doing? In Kriya Yoga, we're turning our cup up so that we can receive the grace. You turn your cup down, nothing's going to happen. Master said, open the curtains, the sunlight's out there. And so when we meditate, we're turning our consciousness up, and your consciousness changes. You have a higher level of awareness, perception. The master would go to the movies sometimes, he'd have his eyes closed, and the disciples would tap him and say, Guruji, are you watching the movie? Yes, leave me alone. He said, I'm watching the big movie. He'd be gone. And he would show that if you lift the consciousness up, even a little practice, Krishna said, of this inner religion will free you from dire fears and colossal sufferings. And Swami Sri Yukteswarji said, forget the past. The past lives are all dark with many shames. But everything will improve if you're making the spiritual effort now. Everything will improve. And so as we go on the path, we have the blessings of the gurus, we have the tools, we have the techniques, we have satsang, then we can make great spiritual progress. I want to share these words from this book. I hope you all are in the classes. If you're not, maybe it's the moment to get in, because there's surely a lot that you can achieve. People ask me, what did I get from Kriya? Joy. I can just say joy instead of frustration and bitterness and unhappiness and low energy and laziness and complete attachment to the senses and all these things. Joy. Joy is inside. And if you practice regularly, you will find that. I was thinking the other day, it was such a wonderful thought. This is a thought that came in my mind. You're not who you think you are. Isn't that a wonderful thought? You're not who you think you are. This body, this personality, this race, this hair, you're not who you think you are. It's a beautiful thought. Find out who you are. But you have to take the time and the effort, and then you will find, wow, look who you really are. These masters came for that. I'll just read a couple of these fabulous quotes. The great guru, Lahiri Mahashaya, taught his disciples to avoid theoretical discussion of the scriptures. He only is wise who devotes himself to realizing, not reading only, the ancient revelations. Then he goes on to say, solve all your problems through meditation. Then you can, if you get this book, you can read the whole quote. Another one from the Gita, Swami Kriyanandaji's Essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Control of what Yogananda used to call the sense telephones is essential for deep meditation. Sense control by withdrawal of the energy is the true meaning of pranayama. Another, the experience of cosmic consciousness can never be given through one's mere intellectual willingness or open-mindedness. Only adequate enlargement by yoga practice and devotional bhakti can prepare the mind to absorb the liberating shock of omnipresence. In there, and I remember Master said one man came to him, he wanted to drink the whole lake of God's bliss, but he could only drink 3 glasses of water. I think we have to know, we're at the 3 glasses of water stage. You have to open up through yoga, through Kriya, through all the things I mentioned. Then only can God come in and bless you with his presence. God bless you all. You're most welcome to the classes that they have here. You can talk to the various instructors. And we'll ask now if there are any questions you would like to ask. We can pass it back and forth.
Yeah, so I had a couple of questions to start with, Dhyanaji.
Can I have a question first? Is there water? There's
Yes.
water behind you, just on the floor. Or another one, either one.
Jaidev is getting.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
So yeah, one question is, I have just started doing these classes, and the 2-3 techniques learned, their yoga postures, their pranayams. I seem to be rushing through each to get to the next one. How can I enjoy each one and then get the most benefit out of them one by one?
Everyone's in a hurry all the time. Isn't it so? Everybody's rushing through everything. We live in a Rajasic time and people are all in a rush. People want to get Kriya Yoga overnight. And some try and some do. They go online, and I wouldn't suggest that, but it's like, I want it. Here's the question: does it really take? Does it work? Does it stick? So if you race through energization, is it really helping you? If you race through Hong Sa, are you really doing it? I haven't found people to really be doing it. So I would say here's a word that has come to me a lot recently: guidance. People don't want guidance. They just want to get it in a book or do their own thing. You need guidance. Kriya was given guru to disciple only, individually, for who knows how long. We give it in a group with proper preparation. And who gives it? Swami Kriyananda authorized people. It's not, I'm going to do it myself. You may meet somebody who just is self-authorized, but Master initiated Swamiji and authorized him to give Kriya. Swamiji authorized and blessed people to give Kriya. Jyotishan Deviji authorized and blessed people. So it's coming through this channel. So I would say, go with the guidance of the teacher, of the acharya that you have. I've met someone who was doing, at one point, way more than they should have been doing with Kriya, and it was not a good thing. So take your time. You're in a good sangha. Come here. It took me about 3 years to take Kriya, and even then it didn't take. Honestly, I wasn't dedicated enough. It only took when I met Swamiji. And Swamiji's power is behind the people who you have, who are teaching you, behind the books that you're reading, behind the lessons that you get, behind the online, behind the home study. It's there. Master's power is there. One thing you won't have if you go online, Master's blessing. I mean, you won't have it. You won't have the Shakti. You won't have a clear understanding of what you're supposed to do. What about support? What about ongoing support? You just don't have it. And so I would say for all of you, don't be your own guru. Follow the guidance of those who've been blessed to give these teachings. And we all give them in the same way. It's not like, oh, I have my own way. I don't do it your way. And I do this way. No, it's very clear. Ananda is very clear. It's step by step. It's the way Swamiji gave it to us and taught us to do it. And so go with the time. Take the time with Hong Sa to get it right. I understand the rush. I understand it, but it doesn't pay off in the end. You just don't learn properly. But if you're with other people who are in the same boat as you, everybody's coming to class every week and all, it's okay, isn't it? So you need proper guidance to get it right. Let me give you another word: magnetism. You need the magnetism of Master to get it right. You need the magnetism. We used to sit with Swamiji. Whoa, you did not move. And I see people going around, I gotta get some water on the phone now. Hello? This is wrong. You need the proper spiritual Shakti, the magnetism to sit there and meditate properly. And so you need to come to the center. this place is already so wonderful. It pretty much will meditate for you, probably. But also the people who are coming, the different acharyas, you need that magnetism. Don't think it's just the techniques. It's not. You need to fuel them. You fuel that technique, and once you get going, I've seen people really take off. But here's an example. If you've got two farmers, and one of them, they're both given seeds. So one takes the seeds he's given, he just goes in the field, throws them out there, hopes for the best. This is how most people are. Okay, then you get the other farmer, puts the seeds aside. Let me cultivate the land. Let me irrigate the land. Let me prepare everything. Then takes the seeds and plant. Now, which one is going to have the plants coming up? This is totally haphazard. This one, pakka. It's going to happen over here, isn't it? So take your time. Go with the way Master gave it. And you will find that he gave a formula that works. Ananda, I just have to say, and I came late in the game. I got there and I saw saints everywhere. Saints just living there, doing Kriya, serving. And I said, I'll say this last thing, that I was on a flight recently. I was going to Mumbai. And I was getting ready to get on the flight. And Divine Mother, I think, had me do that. I just looked around at the other people getting on. And some were old, some were young, whatever. But, for the most part, people didn't look good. Their eyes were heavy or bitter or sad, depressed, low energy. And the thought came to me, oh, their life didn't work out. It gave me a sadness. I thought, thank you, God, my life worked out. I want to help other people have their life work out, You have people in old age, they're so bitter. What happened to you? Well, life didn't work out. I tried getting more money. I tried to get a bigger house. I tried to get 5 cars. I tried to get this, and nothing worked out. My health didn't work out. My money went. It's so sad. I just was so glad. I said, Master, thank you. My life worked out. And it's working out. And you all can say the same. My life is working out. He brought me back, like Babaji brought Lahiri Mahashaya back. Master brought you back. So at this point, I would say, go around and pick them up. I would say at this point, only thing is, just don't complain. Be grateful that your life is working out, your life worked out. Guru, like good doctor, he took charge of your life. What a blessing. Do we have time for?
It's a very interesting question.
TK.
So this, I think, pertinent to all of us. This person was saying that I am doing all my techniques and meditating fairly regularly. What else can I do to deepen my meditation and the experience of God?
God, there's a lot, isn't there? I mean, meditation is only a part of it. And of course you have to meditate properly, but what about harmonium? What about chanting? Master said chanting is half the battle of the meditation, of the spiritual life. How many people here chant regularly? Raise your hand. I don't see many hands. Okay, they're coming now. Some are half a hand. Well,
We'll work with them.
work with them. Chanting with the recording, even if you can't play an instrument. I love music, so it's not a problem for me to chant. But do you chant?
I listen to Ananda music.
That's right. He's good. Get a harmonium or tanpura, and you change your life completely. So chanting is half the battle. That's what you can do. Seva, what is that? Come to the center. What can I do? How can I help? I saw somebody coming in with prasad, and there's always different things you can do. Setting up the chairs. I don't know, getting the boutique set up. That's how I got going. I couldn't meditate well. At the beginning, I just went, God, my mind is completely restless. But Swamiji gave the opportunity to serve. How many places even? They said, 50 years, then you can serve. But Swamiji said, come on, you do this, you do that. You have the opportunity to serve. Master said, to be in tune with me, he told the disciples, serve my work. And the channel is blessed by what flows through. So you're getting blessings. I've done seva sometimes in a day and get so exhausted. I get home and then, wow, what a meditation that was. So find some way as of today. How can I serve? Ask them, what can I do? Devotion by chanting, service, satsang. You can try to go on alone. It's really tough. It's really tough. I tried it. I left Ananda for 3 years. The worst decision I ever made and the worst time of my life. Everything that could go wrong did. And then I could hear Master saying, what are you doing? Just get back there. I went back, everything went fine. And so you need the satsang of the other people. You need their magnetism. One day somebody's down, one day's it's a funny thing, I like to say this, you can call a friend, so-called friend, and say, oh yeah, I'm having a hard time. What are they gonna say? Me too. If you call a guru by, you say, I'm just struggling with something, and they say, oh, let me send you a quote from Master. I got this new book, let's go for a walk and talk about, come on to the kirtan, let's go chant, let's get over to the center. It's always a solution. You need other people. You can't climb that mountain by yourself. It's difficult. Okay, so you've got satsang. Study. You need to study. You can't just think you know it. So they have study. You have classes here regularly, study. There's other things that may be too deep for you, but one is I'll just say seclusion. You need time alone. It's time for you, to meditate and then have prasad in silence and read your books and you need that kind of time. So it's a whole path, and everybody who's going to come here and help you, they can guide you properly. So I won't say more about it. Are we done with the questions? Live questions, anybody? You have a question? No, you. You're wondering.
Which flow? I'm always asking me questions.
Maybe they have the question, but they don't want the answer.
I have a question.
TK.
That is about Om.
Uh-huh.
Why we listen from right side?
Yeah, that's where
Why we don't listen from
well,
left side?
Swamiji said you can bring, if you listen in the left, you can bring it over to the right, but you hear it more deeply, more loudly in the right side. It's just the way it is. So, and you'll notice that if you're hearing Om, you'll hear it more in the right. In the left, sometimes you hear it in both. But if you're hearing it in the left, he said, just gradually try to hear it in the right because it'll be more strong, it'll be louder, it'll be deeper. And that's basically the answer. Yeah?
Why?
It's just the way you're made. Why do you have chakras? Why do you have a spine? Why do you have a heart, So it's the way that we're made. That's all I can say about it. Yeah. So, but try it. If you're hearing in the left, leave it. It's okay. It's not, you're not gonna.
You can shift from left from right.
Totally. You've got control over that. All I'm saying is, I've done it for years and years, decades. It is louder in the right and it's deeper in the right. But you can also hear a little bit in the left. It's okay. Did you want to say something about that? I thought your hand was up. I'm sure you don't have a question. Anyone else? How many people, let me ask a question. How many people here have already taken Kriya Yoga initiation? Wow. Wonderful. Congratulations. How many are in the courses, level 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, wonderful. And how many are just brand new? You're just wondering what's going on here? Okay, wonderful. Well, during the break time, if any of you want to chat, I'm happy to talk with you or any of the other acharyas. But I think you can feel the energy here. It's theirs. This is their home. You can come here and there's 2 or 3 people meditating. You still, you know, where can you go where you feel this vibration? At the mall? No. The hospital, at the dentist's office, at your work? No. That's why we've created this place. You come here and you feel immediately peace, quiet, upliftment of energy. Isn't it so? Attunement, God's presence. So this is your center. Even if you don't come take the classes, come to a kirtan, come to a satsang. Just make it your home. You're most welcome. When I met Swamiji in the very beginning, I was so, he was like really totally a yogi. He was in his 50s and it was a satsang like this. And I was alone. I just came up there in my car and I was standing kind of a ways back and he just looked over, he was talking to everybody. It wasn't like he was just talking to me, but I was there maybe, a couple of rows back and he says, now, he just, he said, no, what is your name? So I told him and immediately he said, this is your home. You should think about living here. And I thought, he tells everybody that. But he didn't tell everybody that. But inside, if you feel from the readings, from the yoga, from the chanting, from the discourse, from the vibration, from the pictures of vibration in the room, from everything, if you feel this seems familiar, then it just might be your home too. God bless you.
Yes.
Which one? Can you stand now?
Where's the marches?
Yeah, well. So I think I'll do the blessing before we go on. We'll chant and do an arati. Please come forward if you would like to the altar, and then you can come for a blessing. Please come. That's for just in a minute. We'll use the flowers. Just pranam and then. Go ahead.
Open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for thee.
Now we're going to do the center blessing that everybody can participate in. Please pass these around and pass these around. Just take a few and we'll be scattering them all over the center, all around. Take this. And please come for the candle. I'll be giving people different things. I don't know. Someone can take agarbatti around. If you don't have something, please come up. You want to take these? Yeah. Someone, please. Just make sure you hold it up high enough. So at Ananda Center Blessings, we take our love, our devotion, our blessings from the gurus to every room, every part. So you're not necessarily following, you're just in your heart, you're just giving blessings that the masters come and live here all the time. And if we have bell, we have rose petals, we have light, we have agarbatti, we have harmonium, we have ganga gel. And so just feel Babaji, Acha, Guruji's picture. Feel that these masters, we can take Babaji's picture down and bring it. Is that easy to come off? I think someone can carry this. Yeah. Okay, and they'll be chanting, and just let's fill the whole place. There's a room there. There's a room here, there's a room there, there's here. Should we go there? So go wherever you feel. We're not following each other, just go for it. And chant and fill the place with master's vibrations. Go for it.
Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Jai
Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai Paramahansa Yogananda Jai Guru Jai
Let's chant Om, sending this vibration of the masters all throughout the house, throughout the whole complex, neighborhood, everywhere. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This center is now blessed and dedicated to God and our line of masters, and it's your home. God bless you all.